Wasn't even prepared for that. Good afternoon. Good evening, actually. It is almost 5 o'clock on a Friday. I call that the evening where I'm from. Daylight savings and all of that. It's about to be pitch black in about 10 minutes. It happens very fast. It happens very fast. I am going live today. Black girl in a blue state. Hey, haven't seen you. You haven't seen me since the election. So it's time. It's time for us to check in and have a conversation. Check in with each other, make sure everybody's feeling good. And if you're not feeling good, we could talk about it. Either way, we're going to talk about it. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm here. Just want to get some stuff off my chest. Just want to talk about it. And I know it's a lot of people that want to talk about it too. So that's why I do what I do. My show, Lyrics and Levels, is about hip hop and music, beats, production, samples, paying homage to the past. But Black Girl in a Blue State, it's a pretty straightforward political-based show. And that's just what it is, and that's just what we do around here. Thank y'all if you're with me. Thank you for joining me. If you're watching me on the replay, make sure you let me know you stopped by. I know you watch on the replay, so just tell me. Let me know. Leave a comment. Leave a like. All that good stuff. You know, it always makes me uncomfortable to say, like my channel, like my video, subscribe to me. I'm new to this kind of like, you know, talking live on YouTube thing, but I do it because it feels right. It feels right, and I'm not, you know, I'm not ashamed to try to jump into this space for personal reasons and otherwise. But listen, we should touch base with each other. We just had a presidential election. I haven't talked to y'all or seen y'all since the election results were announced. I guess it was overnight Tuesday. Good afternoon, good evening, Jens. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for commenting. We're going to talk about the election, the American president election, if you don't mind. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do appreciate you stopping by and spending time with me as I talk about these things that's going on in these United States of America. I appreciate you. But before we get into the election, y'all, before we get into that, we do have to talk about, I mean, the election is pretty serious, but we got to talk about some serious things that have happened as a direct result and ramifications of the election and the results that happened. Respectfully, hello, Fat Daddy, and I appreciate you. I really do. I'm sitting here just trying to build and grow slowly, even if I have to crawl. Here you go, Jens. Even if I have to crawl my way to whatever the YouTube finish line may be, as long as I got y'all with me, I'm good. I appreciate y'all. Stick Bug, what up though? Ahmed, I appreciate you. I think I remember you. I appreciate you. Real talk. But I do got to talk about something a little bit serious. I will continue to shout y'all out. Ishe Rose, what up though? Thank you for stopping by. I'm a Black girl in a blue state. My name is UGoddess. If you haven't been around and you haven't been on my channel, I would appreciate if you check me out, because I don't just talk politics. I also make some pretty good music. Winnie Fro, thank you for stopping by. Passion Expedition, shout outs to you. Call of Duty, whenever, back down, shout outs to you. If you come on here and you try to distract me, throw me off my game, disrespect me, use any kind of racial disparages, you will be removed. Bitcoin, World by Gaurav, welcome to the channel. So ever since matter of fact, the very next day, so the election was the 5th, and immediately these harassing text messages started going out I guess all across the country. I know for sure they happened here in my state, and across the country these text messages were going by. Leslie, I appreciate you for being new to the channel. Thank you for stopping by. If you don't mind, we're gonna talk some politics. Fat Daddy, I'm I'm gonna let you know how I feel. And I'm glad that Trump is your hero. I can't pronounce your name. It looks like it's written in Russian. Congratulations on y'all win. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. These text messages started going out all across the country immediately after Trump won. Of course, the Trump administration has already come out and said they are not connected to these text messages. They have nothing to do with them, and they want to separate themselves from these happenings, which of course I don't I'm not surprised that they do, because every time it's something like this, it's always, I don't know, I wasn't there, I don't know that person, I have nothing to do with it. Project 2025, what's that? The comedian that told those racist jokes at one of Trump's rallies, I didn't know him, I didn't even know he was there. It's always something to that effect. This is the way the text message reads, ladies and gentlemen. It said greetings, and then it said your actual name. So greetings, Leslie, greetings, Fat Daddy, greetings, Bitcoin, greetings, your actual name. You have been selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation starting November 7th, 2024. Please be ready at 8 a.m. sharp with your belongings. Our executive slave catchers pick you up in a brown van. You will be searched once you've entered the plantation. And then it goes on to tell the person which plantation they'll be working on. And these text messages went out through an anonymous text agent, you know, those kind of companies where you can go online and just get a fake phone number with just an email address. So it could be a fake email address, and you just get a fake phone number. And no one will ever know where these text messages came from. But those companies now have to work directly with the FBI. This is an FBI investigation at this point, because this is hate mail that is being sent, and it's being sent to Black people. I haven't heard of any other people receiving this text. So if I'm mistaken and there are others that are receiving these messages, I will update y'all on that. But for now, Black people have been receiving this text message to their personal cell phone numbers, college students and younger, and people just of all walks of life have been receiving these messages telling them that their number is up and they need to be picked up in a brown van by slave catchers, and they've been assigned a particular plantation to work and pick cotton as a direct result of the presidential election. This is absolutely true. Shout out to you, Matt Green. Thank you for stopping by. Passion Expedition. I think I might have shouted you out, but hey, why not another one? Thank you for stopping by and being with me. My name is UGoddess. This is Black Girl in a Blue State. So what I've been doing, that text message, if y'all don't believe me or you want to go check it out, go check it out. It's all over the news. And it happened right here in my state. I'm one of the states that got hit with those text messages, but I'm not the only state. They've gone nationwide. So if you don't believe me, you can go and check it out. Very unfortunate stuff. Very unfortunate stuff. I wanted to get that out of the way and get that off of my chest. Do I feel like Donald Trump is sitting at home sending out those text messages? Of course not. Do I feel like Elon Musk is sending out those text messages? Of course not. But this is just excuse me, with this happening the day after the election, this is just a sneak peek into the minds of the people who feel even more so emboldened by this win. We've seen this before. So it should be no surprise that we are seeing it again. I knew that was Russian. I can't pronounce your name, I'm so sorry. But he says, or she says, Trump promised American passports for all Russians. So I believe America will be ours diplomatically. Shit. We'll see. We shall see. So what I've done for my channel. Good afternoon, good evening, Bryce. Thank you for stopping by. What's good with you? I hope all is well in your world. He ran once and nothing changed. What you mean by nothing changed? Who's a sore loser, Trump or Kamala Harris? Who's the sore loser? Because she lost and I don't think she was sore. So thank you for that, because that helps me to go into my next topic. I'm away from that racist text message. That's disgusting, but I had to talk about it. Right now, we're going to talk about what I've been doing to sort of come and talk about this election with y'all is looking into conservative spaces and then looking into liberal spaces, because I just want to see what's on everybody's mind. I can't talk to everybody. And I am living in a blue state, if you haven't noticed. I'm a Black girl in a blue state. So it's kind of hard for me to get a lot of varying views when you're surrounded maybe by people of the same thought and mentality. So yeah, I want to see what's going on in conservative spaces and how are y'all feeling. I'm pretty sure conservative people are feeling great. Tony the Tiger great. You understand what I'm saying? Definitely not pulling the race card. I'm just reporting what's going on in the world. I ain't say nothing yet. I ain't even get there yet, Bryce. Stick and stay with me. Stick and stay with me. And you'll see. So, in conservative spaces, what we have going on is they had a problem with her not doing her concession speech on the night of, the late night, the early twilight hours of the election. First nitpick of the beginning of Trump's new presidency, that she made her followers and her supporters wait. Why did she make them wait so long? It's disrespectful. It's rude. She's a sore loser. She went out like a punk. She had them waiting out in the cold for her. She couldn't even say, hey. Y'all, for those of you who were critical of that, there's no rule that says she has to come out and say squat on the night of. And as a matter of fact, over the years, my wonderful people, what has happened over the years is that these vote counts are taking longer and longer. You would think as like technology advances and early voting is encouraged, that maybe it wouldn't take as long to count these votes. But election year after election year, it continues to take a very long time. And no one wants this thing to be rushed. Would y'all appreciate if the counting of votes for a presidential election was done so quickly that you're not even sure what happened? Is it true? Can we trust it? Who can count that fast? A machine? Mr. Good Cat, thank you for stopping by. What's good with you? I hope all is well. Big sis, lil bruh, thank you for stopping by. I really like your name. I don't get it, but I like saying it. Big sis, lil bruh. She doesn't have to concede on the night that the votes are being counted. You never know what can happen. And there were still some states that were maybe still out, still some states that we wasn't sure about. So at the end of the day, no presidential candidate has to come out and concede before they're sure or before the rest of the votes have been counted. So if you're going to criticize her for anything, don't criticize her for that. But this is what's being said in conservative spaces. Let me reiterate. I have researched some of the comments on articles and videos, and I've watched conservative news feeds, and these are the things that I'm hearing on the conservative side of this. And of course, what do you think I'm going to do after this? We're going to talk about what they're saying on the liberal side. Right, big sis, little bro. But guess what? It takes a while to count these votes. And so this is why, and you're correct, Mr. Good Cat, and this is why she doesn't have to concede. No candidate has to concede at 1 o'clock in the morning when votes are still being counted on the West Coast or in the Central Time Zone. They don't have to do that. So she waited. Not to say that maybe she was holding out hope that she was going to win, but it's 2 o'clock in the morning. So at the end of the day, I don't agree with that criticism at all. She came out the next day and she did her thing. You feel what I'm saying? Every presidential candidate that loses the election concedes. Oh, damn. Guess what? In the history of history, it's only one person in this world that ever refused to admit that they lost. And guess who that was? Guess who that was? Oh, it was Donald Trump. So for everybody on the conservative side that was mad that Kamala Harris didn't come out and do her speech that night in the middle of the night, 2:30 in the morning, let's think about at least she conceded. Donald Trump didn't concede in 2020 until after the January 6th disaster that happened at the Capitol. Big sis Lil Bruh says November 5th was supposed to be done, deadline period, but they were still counting, Big sis. Big sis says, we don't care about Kamala. It was never the face of the problem. It's the table of people behind her telling her what to say. I mean, don't all politicians have a team of people that sort of try to tell them what to say? And it's called a campaign manager, really. They have campaign management. You know what I'm saying? It takes a while to count the votes, but that's why they have early voting. Absolutely. But guess who doesn't like early voting? And guess who doesn't like mail-in votes and all that other stuff? So you have Democratic states, you know, the blue states. I know a little something about blue states. Blue states do tend to do more early voting, mail-in voting, and the red states don't. So we gotta wait and we gotta count the votes. Man, that's the right thing to do. No, Jet Torres, that's not true, Jet. Don't do that. And thank you for watching. David, welcome to the show and thank you for coming back again. I appreciate you. I have a couple of return customers, so I might not be too shabby. The Democrats have to come more to the center on immigration and LGBT things. This was a landslide, and I thought her running mate should have been the governor from Pennsylvania or Mark Kelly from Arizona. Yo, I've talked about extremism on both sides. One side goes way too far to the right. That's what you call extreme right wingers, right? But then you got that side that goes way too far on the left. Way too far. It's like anything goes. Do whatever you want. No rules for anybody. And that's not okay. So yes, David, if I promise you, I agree with you 1,000%. Extremism on either side is never a good thing to run a country. Yes, Trump won, Frosty. Thank you for stopping by. I don't think I've seen you before. Any of y'all remember what Lyndon B. Johnson said? Hey, listen, Jeffrey Moran. I can't do like a civics quiz right now. I can't do it. Just remind me. Jet says, in all seriousness, it is true. Plenty of videos. Could not care less, though. There's been several nominees in denial about losses throughout history. Yes, but only one that refused to admit that they lost. And you can guess who that is, and I'll give you a prize if you right. I appreciate you for subbing, JavaScript. Yes, you should sub, I mean. Oh, you're asking, should you sub? Absolutely, you should sub. So I'll just reintroduce myself. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name's UGoddess, you know? And I'm curious about what LBJ said, number one. And number two, JavaScript. This particular part of my channel is a podcast. It's a political podcast. So we do talk politics, and that's not always comfortable for everybody. But sometimes, we got to be uncomfortable in order to learn and grow. So I appreciate you for sticking and staying and stopping by. And I appreciate if you would sub to the channel. I also make a little bit of music, you know what I'm saying? So you could always check out my music if you don't feel like talking about politics or the politics of it all. So here's what some of the people are saying on the conservative side of the table, y'all. I haven't been this happy since Hillary Clinton lost. Sure, Mr. Good Cat. Let me scroll up. It went by probably pretty quick. Let's see. I'm gonna stop everything I'm doing and I'm gonna look for your comment. And I don't see it. Can you just retype it, Mr. Good Cat? As long as it's not nothing crazy, because I do have mods in here. So I don't know if it was something crazy and it got deleted by a mod or if I just missed it. I apologize. But if you retype it, I will address you. I haven't been this happy since Hillary Clinton lost. If she loved the country, she would have never opened the border. That's another comment that I've read in conservative spaces. Andrew King, can't blame anyone but her. I would say I blame, if I had to choose, like, who do you blame for the Democrats losing? I would blame the fact that they took Biden out and just ushered her in, and there was just like it just seemed too chaotic, and it just seemed like it threw people off. It threw people off because you had people telling you he's fine, you had Biden telling you I'm fine. And the rest of us all saw that it just wasn't true. And that caused people automatically to distrust that side and distrust her. So she started off way behind the eight ball. She started off late, and she started off with people concerned, confused, curious, and not understanding. Like, if y'all knew Biden was like that, why did you push him out there? Like, we can't trust y'all. And then there's a whole other bunch of stuff, obviously. Joe got out so late. He publicly asked anyone to prove him wrong about this, and no one stepped up. This is actually a great channel. I just subbed. Thank you so much. You live in Oregon. Okay. Yeah, so you far. So we were waiting on y'all votes. I'm all the way over here on the East Coast. So we were done. We were ready. And we had to wait on the rest of y'all. Because we come first. The East Coast comes first. Okay. If she loved the country, she would have never opened the border. What is going on? Do y'all really think? Not y'all. I'm just saying. People in conservative spaces, these comments that I'm reading. Y'all really think Biden and Kamala Harris opened the U.S. border? I mean, it's just, sometimes Trump says these things as he goes from state to state, city to city, podium to podium, and sometimes people just regurgitate it. OG, thank you for stopping by. Richie China, I appreciate you. How are you? She used the wrong black women to represent real black women, and she lied about her race. Andrew King, 15 million people didn't vote. Trump got the same amount of votes as last time. What does that tell us, Andrew King? The American people wasn't feeling her. They wasn't feeling it. They wasn't feeling it, or it would have been a lot closer. Gaijin, thank you for stopping by. Says you think she didn't? No, Kamala Harris did not open the border. No, she did not. And Mr. Good Cat, Was that the comment you wanted me to address? He publicly asked anyone to prove him wrong about this and no one stepped up. Were you talking about Biden? Were you talking about Biden when he was saying nothing was wrong with him? Timo, I'm gonna let you know what's going on. So, basically, my name is UGoddess, and I have a little political podcast, and it's called Black Girl in a Blue State. And we're currently chopping up some of the comments that I've read over time since the election, and currently I am in conservative spaces. When we're done talking about conservative comments, we'll talk about the liberal ones, and then we'll wrap this up. I have a studio appointment coming up in like 40 minutes. So I really got to wrap this up. And I do believe that Jesus is Lord. Thank you, King of Virginia, Richie China. Then who opened the border? Mr. Goodcat, I honestly do not see your comment. I don't know if it was removed, erased, but I just please repeat it. And John B says, thank the Lord. Yeah, it might be being hidden. It might be being hidden. That happens. And I have no control over that. See, my hands are right here. I have no control over that. Dan Smith says, why are we not bothered that Trump will not release his medical records? And David says, do I have Zelle? I do. And I also have Cash App, and my Cash App is Just For You Goddess with the number 4. Just 4 with the number 4, You Goddess. Hey, black girl in a red state. What's going on? We need to talk. We need to really have a talk. Andrew, that was a problem. She was on TV talking about how he was sharp as a tack, and that was not okay. I'm here telling you that that's not okay. Because we need to be able to trust you, lady. And you came into the game late. And I really feel bad that she came in late, because if they would have just started with her, things might have been a little different. I'm not saying she would have lost, won, whatever. I'm just saying that we would have had a different race. We would have had a different race. But we do, hillbilly, we do all bleed the same. Under federal immigration law, it is illegal for anyone in the world to immigrate to the United States unless they fall into very narrow exceptions, such as select few high-skilled workers. You do know that people from other countries, and I'm not just talking Mexico, I'm talking China. Like, how do Trump say it? China. China. I'm talking China. I'm talking the Middle East. I'm talking all over the world, are allowed to come into this country if they are granted because of their high skill and expertise in certain areas. They don't have to go through the system. So we should talk about those illegal immigrants. Are they murderers, rapists, drug dealers, and gang members? Families of U.S. citizens can also be brought into the country. But other than that, no. It is Kamala Harris as vice president and Joe Biden as president. As much as you may dislike them, I promise you they didn't just open the border. That does not happen. That's it's a falsity. It's a lie. It is a misunderstanding, and it is something that has been repeated. When you hear the words Kamala's open border, it just sinks into your psyche and you just start repeating it. It happens to the best of us. It really does. It really does. Seki Pop says, why did they vote for a felon? Seki Pop, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I couldn't tell you why the entire country voted for a felon. But MTG says, because he's going to fix the country. Remember, Trump promised that he was going to clean all this shit up with one phone call. He was going to clean it all up with one phone call. So January 20th, I expect to walk outside my door and see a whole new world. So she doesn't have open borders, y'all. Here's another comment. I'm not in despair. I am excited. I can finally afford a house, a car, and groceries. Thank God for Trump. So they believe that January 21st, 2025, they're gonna wake up that morning, and all of a sudden eggs are gonna be $1. All right, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Where was my freedom from government when I was forced to get a COVID vaccine and lose my job? So vaccinations, masks, the government shutdowns, I understand that. People lost their jobs. Our kids got sent home one day in March of 2020, and they were never to return to school again for 2 years. And I understand how people suffered because we all sort of were in that together. Yes, the essential workers still got up every day and went to work, but the pandemic was bizarro world. It was absolute bizarro world. And so some people, based off of what they went through, based off of how their lives were affected by COVID, automatically apply those feelings to this administration. And I get that. I actually 100% understand that. We in trouble. They have the Senate and the House. Drag queens twerking in front of children is crazy. That's that left extremism. That's that left extremism. So I get it. You felt, and first of all, there was no law that made you get the vaccine. What happened was your job might have told you you can't come back to work unless you get the vaccine. If you blaming Biden for that, that's not really Biden's fault. And the rollout of the vaccine actually happened under Trump. Let's not forget, Trump had the first quarter of COVID. Or maybe it was more like the first half. He had the first half. And how he handled it and what he did with it, some people say yay, some people say nay. It all depends on how COVID affected you. How did COVID affect you and your kids and your household and your job and your health and your family? How many of us lost a loved one and were told it was because of COVID or under the suspicion or the guise of COVID? It all depends on how it affected you. But either way, Trump had the first half. And that's when them stimmy checks was going out. So people are like, I had more money when Trump was president. Some people think he fumbled the respirator thing. Some people feel like he fumbled the mask thing and the PPE thing. I live on the East Coast, y'all. I live in a blue state. That don't mean I'm woke. Because I don't even know if I even agree or even want to associate myself with such a terminology. If the way that I'm speaking is opposite to how you feel, that doesn't mean you get to label me, Jay. But thank you for stopping by. I worked my butt off, so I had plenty of unemployment. I feel you. I hear you, MTG. I'm glad they're getting that off around children in school. Yes, plus he's going to put all them extremely conservative. Oh, Lord. Gas was cheaper. Oh, God. Free Palestine. Free everybody. Free us. COVID was crazy. And I don't think we can judge how our administrations acted under COVID. But I don't know if we can blame our lives on the presidents during COVID, because what the hell, y'all? Have any of y'all ever been through a pandemic before? Because last I heard, the last pandemic we had was 100 years ago in 1920. So I know y'all ain't never lived through a pandemic. We didn't know what to do. Nobody knew what they was doing. Y'all was out there going and getting vaccinations and stuff. People were shooting people over being told they had to wear a mask when they go inside the Family Dollar. We was fighting and arguing in the streets. People was getting stimulus checks and flying to the Dominican Republic to get BBL surgery. And people in convalescent homes were dying. Gaijin says, telling people, yep, hey, MTG, me and you, I don't know if we on the same side of the spectrum, but so far, I'm rocking with some of the stuff you're saying, cause same. I'm trying to read what Gaijin wrote. No, I'm reading what Sugar Daddy wrote. I worked a lot also. I work in a hospital. Sugar Daddy, what's good with you? Mark Nehemiah, what's good with you? Thank you for sticking and stopping by. I'm going to try and read a couple of these comments. Trump was between a rock and a hard place with the COVID protocol. I'm saying the last pandemic we seen is 100 years ago. None of us have any experience with a pandemic, including Donald Trump. He fumbled a couple of things along the way, and now we're finding out 4 years later he was sending ventilators to Putin. He was sending ventilators to Putin. I live on the East Coast. I'm very close to the city. People in New York were dying to the point where their bodies were lining the streets. It looked like a war-torn third world country. You know. But big up the essential workers. Shout out to the essential workers that got up and had to go to work every day while the rest of us was locked up in the house not knowing what the hell was going on. Having to turn back around and go back home because I left my mask. Damn it, I left my mask. There's one thing I wasn't going to let them do, and I wasn't going to let them inject me with nothing. What you mean? He gets credited with rolling out that vaccine very quickly. But the same way how they rolled out Kamala really quickly, and we didn't trust that. How come we trusted a vaccine that they rolled out in 6 months? Anyways, Sugar Daddy, we appreciate you. Gaijin says, telling people that Biden-Harris wasn't responsible for illegal aliens entering the U.S. is doing a great disservice to your viewers. No hate coming from me, but that's what you're saying. No, actually what I said is that they didn't open the border. I didn't say illegal immigrants didn't cross the border. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's a difference. It's a difference in delivery. It's a difference in wordology. But I promise you that I'm not saying that illegal immigrants, that we don't have a problem in this country with people coming into the country illegally. Of course we do. Let me scroll back down. Walmart was essential, but the churches were shut down. Sad. Sad. Miss Jules, what's good with you? I hope all is well. You guys, if we're going to talk about COVID, then I might as well throw my notes away. If we're going to talk about COVID, that's a whole nother ball of, what can I say? I don't want to cuss. Are we talking about COVID? No, we can't talk about COVID. We'll do a separate COVID show. Sarah says Trump 2024. Sarah, you won. How you feeling? Mark says they allowed it to happen. Somebody else said, now we can treat our unborn babies with kindness and respect. So we know what that's all about. Abortion, Roe v. Wade. Now they want justice for the unborn babies, y'all. Justice for the unborn babies. And I've said this a million times. I'm like Kamala Harris, repeating myself. I was raised in a middle-class family. You know, my mother didn't buy her first house until we were in high school. And when we were growing up, I was raised by a woman who owned a small business. We love our small businesses. Okay, sorry. Listen, I sound like Kamala now because I'm repeating myself, okay? Listen. Roe v. Wade and abortion rights wasn't just about getting pregnant and having an abortion, y'all. Oops, I'm pregnant. Let me go have an abortion. Oops, I'm pregnant again. About to go have another abortion. It's so much deeper than that. It's so much deeper than that. It's about That's why they call it women's rights, because it literally, and they keep saying you can't tell a woman what to do with her body, because it really literally is about women's health in her reproductive system. But I've always said that this is not just a women's issue, it's a man's issue too, because y'all help us to make the babies. And sometimes there are issues with the pregnancies, y'all. And if you live in a state where you can't go get the proper care, that's what it's about. It's not about the morality of having an abortion. It's not about your faith or your religion. It's about if I'm having a medical emergency due to a pregnancy and I live in a state where abortion is illegal, I could die. And that's facts. What if the unborn is dead inside your body, Vignesh? What if you can't save the baby? You got to save the mother. And yes, some of those states where abortion is illegal, they do have stipulations. They do have stipulations where if it's affecting the mother's health, if the mother's life is at risk, not her health, but if her life is at risk, then yes, they will provide some type of care. But these abortions are not just what you think. Some of you don't know. A baby could die inside of you and needs to be removed. You understand what I'm saying? Pregnancies go left. And by go left, I mean they go wrong. They go bad. And sometimes procedures need to happen. And there are women that are literally dying, y'all. This is not about whether abortion is right or wrong. I promise you. I promise you. And men, y'all help to make these babies. I'm sure y'all want to have a say in this too. You broke it down good in the other video before the election about abortions and women care. Thank you, David. Sugar Daddy says, save the born as well. Save us all. All right, let's move on to what the liberals are saying on the liberal side after the election. What are the Democrats and the liberal citizens of the United States saying when Trump was elected? Absolutely disgusting what this country has come to. Every felon should be able to vote, since a felony doesn't stop you from becoming president. Whoever voted for this con man, shame on all of you. This will bring a dark time to this country. If you can't join the military with a felony in your record, why did we allow a felon to become commander-in-chief? I want to pause for a moment. Mark Nehemiah says, someone I am related to miscarried after she was recommended to have an abortion, but her father would not let her. It was horrible. Richie says, I think they should vote because they're a felon. Doesn't mean that they don't live in this country. They should be able to. Sugar Daddy agrees. David understands. On the liberal side, I'm glad that at least we still have President Biden until January 20th. On the liberal side, Biden loves this country. Trump just loves himself. On the liberal side, when Biden leaves, democracy leaves with him. America has chosen the dark side of power. Another comment on the liberal side. I accept differences in policy, but I reject this embrace of such a clearly unfit, thoroughly corrupt, and totally vile person. This man is just entertaining to watch and listen to. He doesn't even seem like he takes anything seriously. I could just see him saying, just kidding. I didn't want to be president. I just wanted to show you that I could win again. MTG says, fellow felon, and I voted for the felon. Gaijin said, how dark was it really during his first term? I didn't see stores stop selling sunglasses. Stacy Oliver, thank you. Listen, those were not my words. I was reading comments of people that I've gathered ever since the election. I've been gathering these comments from articles online and YouTube videos. So that's where I got those comments from. Those comments are not of my own thought and mentality. But let's talk a little bit about the man. Is just interesting to watch and listen. I wonder what percentage of people voted on Trump's entertainment value, because I know a lot of people that are not really too much. Well, I won't say a lot of people. See, now I'm speaking hyperbolic like Donald Trump does. A lot of people are saying, I don't like talking like that. I know a couple of people, not a lot of people, that laugh and think he's funny and think he's entertaining. And I've even said it myself. I'm quoted, and you can quote me as saying, if he's good for anything, he's good for a laugh. Is that criteria to run the United States of America because he gives you a good laugh, Christy Holmes? Gaijin, I heard you reading from others and didn't think they were your words. All good, thank you. Sugar Daddy, and he claimed fraud. MTG says, how long have you been into... Hey, what you know about that? My whole life, because I played when I was young. And the town that I played for, we started off with a girls' team, but there were so few girls on the team that they just chose a few of us and put us on the boys' team. And I was one of those people. If you don't like it, leave. Lots of other countries to move to. Bye. Bye, Tony. Bye. Where you want me to go, Tony? Where I'm supposed to go? Where you want me to go? Can you recommend a couple of countries? Because I don't know who told you I didn't like it. I'm just talking. I'm just getting some stuff off my chest. Where are you kicking me out to go to, Tony? Holla at me. Vignesh says Donald Trump pulled one of the greatest political comebacks in modern political history. He did. Southland says Trump is not that entertaining. His policies some people agree with. Right. I mean, when he gets on the stage and he goes, Kamala, on November 5th, we're going to say to Kamala, you're fired. Get her the hell out of here. Do y'all watch him? Do y'all watch his rallies? Because I do. Combat wants me to answer his question. I'm going to scroll up and see if I can find it. Sometimes, hey, yo, listen, y'all. My hand, look, see my hands? I'm not deleting anybody's comment. All right, well, guess what? If you think I'm angry, I'm so sorry, because actually I'm just fine. I'm actually just fine. I haven't been angry this I got a little emotional because I'm a human being, but I promise you I'm not angry. And just watch your mouth, because my mods will snipe you out. Southland says Kamala Harris was not ready. They should have picked someone else. But who, Southland? I think no matter what they would have done, after they put Biden out there and we had that shit show of a debate, anyone who they would have put out there after that, I think they would have suffered the same fate. Yeah, Landley. I don't think they had anybody else, and I think they would have suffered the same fate. Latinos for Trump. Wepa. Mi oruglia. I am not Rick James. Listen, y'all, I have a studio appointment. I'm going to record my next greatest hit. I hope y'all will check out my channel, not just for the politics, but also for the hip hop. If you're not into hip hop, just stick with the Black Girl in the Blue State. I got to cut this one short. I appreciate y'all. Penny's House says, beautiful woman, God loves you, and so do I. We will get through this together. I voted Republican, but I still love my Democratic countrymen. Yo, Penny, honestly, I'm going to end on that note. What a beautiful comment. I'm going to end on that note. And I'm not just saying that because you called me beautiful. I just think the sentiment behind what you said is really, really something that we all should try to embrace over these next 4 years. I appreciate you. See, Combat? See how you just got timed out because you spamming my channel? But no. I'm not going to end on that note. Thank you, Sugar Daddy, but I'm not going to end on that note. I'm ending on Penny's house, her final thoughts. I appreciate y'all. This is UGoddess, and I have to sign off because I got music to go make. I appreciate y'all, and we'll get together again real soon. Hey, yo, guess what? Peace and love, y'all.